Today was a great win for us. A lot of things happened that you have to really research in order to find out. We're guaranteed a winning season, above 500 season. Our graduating, our four-year student athletes will be the first four-year student athletes that will graduate with the winning record above 500 in a long time in our program history. We have both tiebreakers versus Niagara and now Siena. So the lowest we can finish is fourth, and that's good for the best in program history. And it's probably the first time we've ever swept Siena in program history in a season. So there's just a lot of things that our kids have accomplished today. And tomorrow we have an opportunity to play for a tie for third. While four is great, why not? We have an opportunity. Let's go seize the moment. Let's not just, rest on what we have today. Kids fought really hard. Had to deal with some frustrations. We're usually really good at winning long rallies, and I believe Siena outplayed us a lot today. I got to give them respect and give them credit. Our kids were able to sustain their frustration and compensate well. And once we got past that a little bit, we were a little bit more freer. We were free flowing, and I thought they did a really nice job today. In the locker room, I thought something specific was going on, and I said it, and my team disagreed with me. And when you've got 13 athletes that you trust telling you, no, coach, you're wrong. And I told them that I was wrong. And I was like, okay. And I literally said, I'm going to jump on your bandwagon, and I'm going to do what you guys need me to do, and it's going to be on you guys. And even when they went down, you could see the timeouts. I communicated a lot with my assistant coach. I didn't do a ton of communication with them. I let them find themselves, and we have a very sufficient group. And I don't have any issue with handing over my leadership authority to our team. Because they're hardworking young women that are mature, and they love what they're doing, and they love our process. So, I tip my hat off to them. They were able to refocus themselves, and you need teams to be able to do that on their own. Yes, the coach should do it, but sometimes players have to do it too. And that was the difference. They were able to do that today on their own, so I'm proud of them for that.
To be honest, I think on the court we all believed in each other. It was just a matter of, putting the ball away, and once we put one ball away, it was done. And I think our team is pretty good at that. We've been down, I remember one time last year we were down 13-1, and we almost came back and won the set like 25-23. I think we all have that fight in us, and I know coach has said in practice, everyone needs to have that dog fight in them, and I honestly think when we are down like that, everyone pulls that dog fight out, and we're able to bring back, tie it, and then take the lead and run from there. It always feels calm on the court, From an outside perspective, 7-1, people are like, ooh, uh-oh. But on the court, it honestly feels like, all right, we need to take care of business. Let's put one ball away. Once that ball is done, we're rolling.
We've got three. We've got a grad student, Brianna Guzman, the transfer from St. John's, and then we have Caitlin Griffin and Ryan Ackerman. Brianna has brought a blue-collar mentality and approach to our team, something that I think has been missing here for a while. We have kids that have it, but she's got such a big personality. She's fun to be around. She's someone that the girls have really gravitated to. And I'm going to be sad that we're not going to have more of that, in the future. And she's someone that's has balanced our kids. She's been a big mentor to our freshmen. She's someone that you can rely on to do the little things, to work hard in practice. I have the privilege of watching her grow in the classroom because we have classes together. And she works really hard. She's a complete student athlete. I couldn't say more about Brianna, other than I wish we would have her for a longer period of time. Ryan Ackerman and Caitlin Griffin, I'm gonna call the way it's supposed to be. When we got those players here, that's when we really started attracting bigger and better talent. We've had to grow with the building process. And our first class, the Jacqueline Webbers, Ashley Amatulis of the world, they were the ones that helped sustain our program, and as we started to grow and start taking the right steps. When we got those two players, those are the ones that put us over the top a little bit. Not necessarily first place or anything, but they made us, relevant. I always use the word relevant because Mr. Harnum, that's what Mr. Harnum wanted. He wanted us to be relevant. He wanted us to be competitive. And we were competitive, but when we got those two players, we had two players that were just go-to people that we could rely on to get better. And in turn, that's how you get better. Kids want to play with players like that, and that's how we got Veronica. That's how we got Jen. That's how we got Emma, and the list goes on and on from the rest of the classes. So the both of them have major contributions. You're talking about 2 1,000 points kids, 2 1,000 kill kids. Ryan is chasing now 1,000 digs. I think she's actually really close now. And those are numbers that are good enough for good enough to be recognized in the future. When they graduate and they move on with their lives, whatever their path is, and their destiny is, whatever. So it's really significant. Those two. The bottom line is you appreciate people like that. I will tell you about both of them that there has been a lot of growth in them, not just as volleyball players, but as people. Kids come here, student athletes come here at 17, 18 years old, and they graduate at 22 if they're doing what they're supposed to do, academic, 22 or 21. And man, the individuals they are today, if you would have told me that they were going to be these people when I recruited them, I wouldn't have believed you. They have worked really hard at it. And they're not perfect, and they'll tell you they're not perfect. But they have worked really hard at becoming better people. And in turn, through their hard work, I think all of us, including myself, have become a better person, and they've become better individuals. That I'm referring to the team. So, they're going to be missed. They really are going to be missed.
Bree came in this year, and I was so excited to have her. We never had really a grad student before, and just her energy on the court brings such life. And honestly, off the court too, she's such a funny person. I agree with Coach. I wish we would have had her, for 3 years. She's a team player, no matter what, even if she's having an off game or the hottest game of her life, she is a team player. She cheers you on. She pushes you to be better. Griff and Ryan, oh Lord. Well, honestly, 2 of the best volleyball players I've ever played with in my life. Both of them I can look to at major points, and I know they will put a ball down. And sad to see them go.